just over an hour north of Auckland, New Zealand, has been built a golf mecca. 3 great courses that are enjoying international acclaim.
Everything from Clubhouse to putting greens to the course itself is just incredible.
Nothing's been spared. They haven't cut one corner.
Stunning outlook, stunning layout, fantastic fairways, greens, tee blocks, just everything.
The landscape is amazing.
This is pretty bloody flash, actually.
It truly is a golfer's playground.
The man responsible is American businessman Rick Kaine.
There was a bit of skepticism about how crazy this idea.
I basically said, Rick, you're nuts. There's no way anyone can pull this off, not even you. And now it's unbelievable what's happened that he actually pulled this off. I don't think he can even believe he pulled it off.
At the end of the day, nobody was stupid enough to do what I did.
It's an exceptional project. It's one of the most beautiful settings in the world. The difficulty here is there's not that many people in New Zealand. And does something at this scale make sense for this country? 5 or 10 years ago, everybody had told you were crazy, no way. Even Rick be like, no, there's no chance that's successful.
Rick, you could have chosen anywhere in the world. Why New Zealand? I didn't come to New Zealand actually to build golf courses. I never had built a golf course before, but I played the top 100 golf courses in the world.
I think I probably started playing golf when I was about 8 or 9. Played at the public courses around. We never belonged to a club, which is probably one of the things that caused me to want to have a club. 12 or 13, I also started caddying, and that was my real first job. $9 for a double bag, no tips, 18 holes, at a club where the members seemed to have a contest as to who could have the heaviest bag. I came to New Zealand first with a friend in 1996. And the first place we went was to his place in Pakari, and when we walked to the foreshore up at the dunes overlooking the ocean, my mouth dropped. We just fell in love with the beauty of the country, and particularly the nice, welcoming people. And I've found New Zealand to be an extraordinary balance to the United States, and particularly to California. In January of 2011, we had a reunion down on Pakari Beach. We had a helicopter there. We take off, and we go 1 mile to the north, and my phone starts to vibrate. And it's somebody in my office that did not know where in the world I was. And he said, Rick, I had a guy in here with a New Zealand land deal today. He says, I thought you might like to look at it. And I pushed the attachment, and it is the land that I'm flying over at that minute, which is stunning. It was this 7-mile long pine forest that I knew underneath it was just sand dunes, because there were sand dunes on this side, there's sand dunes on that side, there's going to be sand dunes underneath it. So this property is absolutely perfect for the building of a golf course. Sand dunes on the beach is the best for the building of a golf course. And so I called Tom Doak and I said, Tom, would you like to build another golf course in New Zealand? Because he had built Cape Kidnappers. And he says, I'd love to. And I got excited because I had decided to come to New Zealand. And now all of a sudden there was a project, and a project that was near and dear to my heart.
There could be 1, 2, probably not 3 house sites to get relocated. Rick and I have set off on this to create what we believe will be one of the great golf resorts of the world. The project in size is massive. We've got nearly 3,400 acres covering almost 12 kilometers of Pacific Oceanfront beach here. We've got Teriiti, which was the first golf course that was built. Now we're building 2 additional golf courses. So we'll have 3 golf courses. We'll also end up having a hotel and a resort that really revolves around the golf.
Tom, what happens here?
This is the green site, more or less, right here.
This is the green site for?
Number 10. You can see, if you look that way, that the 11th hole is going that way.
And then we've been fortunate enough to get Bill Coore, Ben Crenshaw, as well as the Doak Renaissance golf team to design for us. They're the best in the world, and we're pretty excited about that part.
So this stake over here is roughly where the 18th green is going to be. If we get this hole set up at just the right elevation where you're up a little bit in the fairway looking down through this green and you can see exactly what I'm seeing from here now, that's a pretty spectacular view. You know, what makes Tahiti special is you can see the ocean from pretty much everywhere on the golf course, which is pretty unique even for seaside golf courses around the world. And that'll be true of Bill's course for Arai, but not so much for mine. Mine actually, it starts and finishes here by the ocean, but it works back inland into the trees. You know, I think most people, when they come here for the first time, the expectation will be, wow, the one course that has all the ocean frontage will clearly be the best golf course. So, you know, I have to have a little chip on my shoulder and be out to prove that that's not true.
Well, this has been semi-cleared and it's easy to walk through. The land on the other side, it's got gorse. It actually, in spots, almost requires a machete to get through. Tom, when he first got here, did have a machete. He had a GPS and a topo map.
Rick started asking almost right away, you know, can this be one of the best golf courses in the world? Which is a really hard question to answer when you're in a forest and you can't see more than 100 yards in front of you.
I'm a somewhat obsessed person, and I said I'd like this to be a top 50 golf course in the world. That would be my objective. When he came out 3 or 4 days later, I just asked him this or this, and he went like this.
What is that over there?
There. That's the hazard in front of 10 green. That's the part of this place that reminded me of Pine Valley right away. It's a really big sand blowout, you know, just a catcher's mitt.
Yeah, I've never seen this.
This is the most dramatic spot out here, honestly. This is some pretty awesome ground. You know, I've built 40 golf courses and 5 of them are in the top 100, and that's a pretty high percentage, but it's still no guarantee. When you're out in the forest walking around, you can only see, you know, this is the part where I can see the most. I can see like 70 yards in front of me. But I'm gonna hit it. The golf hole is 500 yards long, and golfers are gonna actually be looking another 150 yards out there to where they can drive the ball. I just want to build something worthwhile that people love to play, and I know I can do that here.
I'd never seen this blowout here. It's a fabulous feature, and when Tom got back into this area, it really excited him, and I can see why now.
It's incredible. Watching something like this come to life is just spectacular, and it's very rare that you get to do something that's this special.
On this particular site, the one piece that is absolutely going to have New Zealand written all over it is over just behind where the 6th tee is going to be now. It's a Maori site, a pretty prominent one. And, you know, most sites, even if you have something like that, they want you to stay way the heck away from it instead of incorporating it somehow. The tribe apparently is very excited by the idea that you'll actually get close to it from the golf course.
Physically, you know, we're blessed with spectacularly beautiful land. Just taking a walk in this land is magnificent. There's something almost spiritual about this place. Tiari Point, I'm told in the Maori faith, is the lifting point between earth and heaven. And there's something about that.
CJ, let me see the plan, because I don't think, if I remember right, I don't think it's anywhere near where I intend to put the tee.
I had the fortune of being young, early 20s, and starting to work at a place called Bandon Dunes in the States. When I arrived, Pacific Dunes, which was one of Tom's greatest courses, was just being grown in. And I'd never seen anything like it. And it totally changed how I saw golf architecture. You're like, whoa, that's how it should be done.
You've got 18 holes here. How many would you consider are unique holes?
8 and 10 are going to be in that class right away. I can tell you right now. They're both going to be like, well, I've never seen anything like that. I think that hole going up to the paw site, and maybe 6 coming back down into that big bowl of dunes, and maybe 14 that comes over the hill and into that bowl of dunes from the other direction. So that's 5 holes, and we're not talking about the holes that get out by the ocean. That's why I was okay with drawing the B piece of land away from the ocean, because you can't build a hole like that next to the ocean.
No, I'm calling Bill, and I'm going to tell him he's got to get that land.
He could have had more variety. He just didn't think to look over here.
It's very special, very special.
What I've always tried to do is to engage people that are better and smarter than I am, and to give them a great sense of ownership of what they're involved with. I don't want to micromanage people. I don't want to tell them how to do it. I want people that can get their fingerprints involved and and make their mark and feel as though they own it.
No one is more responsible for the outcome of this endeavour than Jim Rawstaff. It's his job to grapple with the unavoidable complexities that come with the project.
So we're trying to sort out the main roading plan to benefit both real estate and golf. We've got to make this work for all parties involved.
The asset to New Zealand is the golf course. It is not the residential development. At least more.
But they
so.
have to work hand in hand.
Yes.
Because one does not work without the other.
Yeah.
But Jim is my partner, and I'm a very lucky guy to have him as a partner. He's the guy that makes the trains run. He's the guy that works on all of the problems, and the buck really stops with him.
I only feel like the bad guy, with the people that I'm talking to at that time. So when I'm talking to CJ,
you could never be the bad guy.
When I'm talking to CJ, he wants perfection on this, which I also do. But I am a realist and know that we are going to have to bend in a few places. We want to make this the best place we possibly can. And there are compromises all the way through, and we've got to find out a way to make everybody as happy as we possibly can.
Jim's got to walk a delicate line, and it's between the golf course and the integrity of the golf course and all of the other business aspects, the lodging and the restaurants and things along those lines. And he's got to balance it all.
These are things that once we do it, it's done. Once those roads go in, there's no going back, there's no changing. So we need to get it right the first time around.
With Tom's golf layout in place and the road plan finalised, it's time for the massive task of clearing hundreds of acres of trees.
I've worked in this forest since it was the second rotation, so I planted these trees back in the 90s for Carter Holt. The interesting part for me is turning what was a forest that didn't grow very good pine trees into something that's going to be more worthwhile. So I can only see this as being beneficial. The guy driving the skidder, he's the local Maori club president, so he loves golf. A couple of the other boys do as well. Maybe one day we'll get to play on these courses.
The locals really can't wait. They've already begun to practice.
Put the club down like that, put that hand so the club shaft's always coming up between those two. You can interlink, or you can just do a grip like that. I do the interlink, and there's 3. There's 1, take it away there, 2, and 3, and just swing through.
Geez, that was a good shot, Shell.
I'm not going to live this down.
Mate, you're a natural with that stick.
I know.
After months of planning and logging, and with the landscape finally exposed, golf architect Bill Coore has returned to New Zealand to rip into work on the southern course.
I don't think I've seen this guy in 2 or 3 years.
At least.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You're getting my car, I guess.
Is there any fuel in it?
Yes, I fueled it up yesterday.
I am a huge fan of Tom personally and his work professionally. I've known Tom since he was in school at Cornell. Tom has known for many, many years, even when he was very young, that this is what he wanted to do in life. This guy right here, who I am a huge, huge fan of, but I remember distinctly Because somehow, well, you got to come to Tahiti, of course, first,
Yeah.
so you got to set the whole stage. But then when Rick and Jim called about looking at this other site, I get to go wander around down at Te Arai Links. And of course, at one time, I'm just taking all the coastal ground that I can, including 600 yards of his that I gave back. I was very kind about that.
Yeah, you're very generous.
How are you going to use more?
Anyway, so he calls me, Reuben, after he's come down to look at the site there too. And he calls me, he goes, maybe we should think about how we're going to schedule these two courses. And I said, why would it make a particular difference, Tom, to you? He says, because you took all the best land. But I did give you 600 yards back.
We like the land we got too, a lot.
Yeah.
You know, a little competition is a good thing, and these are great gentlemen, but the fact of the matter is having them right next door to each other, whether it really matters or not, I don't know the answer. But I tend to think they may have been trying just a little harder.
It's just truly a special place. The potential is extreme, let's put it that way. When I first came here, I was looking, for the contours in the sand, trying not to look at the ocean, but you can't help it. It adds incredible drama to what is already an extremely gifted site for golf.
Bill Coore and Ben Crenshaw have dedicated nearly 4 decades to restoring, renovating, and creating golf courses. Their work includes projects like Sand Hills Golf Club in Nebraska and Streamsong Resort in Florida, where Coore and Crenshaw designed the red course, while Tom Doak worked on the blue course.
If you have to ask what's special about Tom Doak and Bill Coore, it's like asking what's special about Dali and Picasso. I mean, they're just the best golf architects.
To try to capture the essence of any really, really good golf course, you have to first study the property, totally understand the property. This was a long par 3 hole. The more we've studied it, the more we think it would be more interesting if we played this hole as probably a long par 4, cascading dramatically down the hill. And people say, well, why didn't you do that originally? You start off with a routing that you actually think is the best, but you continue to study it. And particularly as the holes are opened up, you invariably want to make some refinements, and that's what this is. Let it happen. Let the evolution occur through the process. Don't get married to some preconceived notion. Don't get too enamored of something that you can't see something else.
Bill will work until he gets it right, and he does not let his ego get in the way. If your idea is good, he'll use it. And through effort, he will get a masterpiece.
It's an extraordinary opportunity for golf and for us, and and for me personally, it's a dream come true. So yeah, you're right. I'm happy, as they say down south where I grew up in America, pig and slop.
We're at the hypothetical 4th green. It will probably change shortly.
I heard that too, CJ. I've known CJ now. He was a young guy working on a golf course we did at Bandon Dunes years ago. He was a golf professional. He took the risk to go learn agronomy, learn, construction, learn all these different facets. And now he's here. He's got all the background. It's all in place. And the man is talented beyond measure. He speaks like 3 languages.
Buongiorno, tutto va bene? Abbiamo un campo buono.
Speaks Italian, I think Japanese, English, maybe more.
Puedo parler en français, puedo hablar en español, pero...
CJ's extraordinarily interesting. It's hard to get him to talk about it, though. Hey, Brett.
Hi, Bill.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
How have you been?
It's been a while. Hey, Bill.
Hey, Marcus.
Yeah.
Once again. Up until now, we've been concentrating strictly golf. Golf holes, flow of holes, and the routing and how the golf course fits on the land. At this point, what we've been talking about is how to integrate the club area into those golf holes. I'm losing this battle, but I'm having this thing with Jim. I'm going, everybody talks about that view, and of course the orientation to the north. This is incredible. He's not buying in.
He's not listening?
He's not. I'm just saying, this is fantastic.
Yeah, no, and look, I think the orientation, Brett, instead of there, is really going to slide here. If we almost center on the 18th green, and then we still get all this width, and Bill wins because then we're looking down the coast for him.
Well, look at that, man. Look at that. Well, look at that.
I love that. I love this whole place.
All joking aside, this central area with its facilities will be crucial to the entire project.
This is really meant to be the golf heartbeat of the whole property here. So we're going to have 2 golf courses, but 1 practice facility. So the main range is here, so when people want to warm up for golf, they do it right here. When they want to check in for golf, they do it here. Check in for rooms, they do it here. Then over here you've got a huge putting green, which would be 1.5 acres, 2 acres in size, with a golf barn, we're calling it, which is pizzas, beers, burgers, very low key, very casual place that you can come and hang out for a casual meal after golf, and then go out and it spills right onto the putting green. So it's a fun place. It's really just meant to be fun.
A few days later, CJ and Jim check out Tom's northern course, cleared for all to see.
When Tom was last here, we were still walking through the pine trees, and for the trees to come out and for us to actually see the natural landforms, it's going to be a spectacular hole.
There is some excitement with the contours and how good this golf is. This is very good golf land.
You will not want to miss this green on the right-hand side and short, or you will be way down in the little valley there, the ravine.
And this kind of contour next to a green site, that's rare that you see something so bold. So it's always exciting to be involved in projects where there's a serious boldness with the design.
So a great architect, they will use these existing natural fall-offs to their advantage. What they want to do is use what is already here, find those best spots, and really design around those. And so when Tom found this piece of the property, he got really excited and wanted to make this a feature. This area, we really want this to stay just like this. You couldn't create something this beautiful. We want to keep it as pure as it's always been.
Pure sand is only one element for great golf. Even more crucial for a perfect game is grass.
This is a turf nursery. We're trying to figure out what grass species works the best for this area. Every site is different. So we have 9 different species right now. We're going to add 2 more, and we're trying to figure out what is going to give us the most enjoyment, honestly. That's what you sell here, is enjoyment. So we want something that won't get in the way of people having a great time here and the architect's design.
This 007 looks pretty good too, doesn't it?
Yeah, this one might be good.
These will be the fastest speeds.
Which isn't necessarily what we want here.
Which is good.
This is a place that we want people to come, relax, enjoy, have fun. People for, the last 20, 30 years have been very focused on fast greens, especially in the US and actually over in the Sand Belt in Melbourne. And when you've got greens that are so extremely fast, the average golfer cannot actually control their ball on the green.
The other problem with too fast of greens is you take away the contours, because if it's really fast, you have to have very flat greens, and that's what we don't want. Personally, I'm always a throwback. I like whatever's been around for 150 years. It's proven. There's a reason it's been around so long. Those are the varieties I really like. You can see something called 007 is not from 150 years ago. Clearly it's a marketing name. I'd rather not reinvent the wheel. Some of this is just sales, which, no offense to sales,
I don't know why you're looking at me.
The species of grass you choose is vitally important. That's way more time than anyone's spent talking about a turf nursery before.
I'm not so much of a people person, but I'm more of a grass person.
As progress was being made in New Zealand, world events took an unexpected turn.
Cases of a mysterious illness are reported in the city of Wuhan in China. Chinese authorities have identified a completely novel coronavirus.
The really surprising thing is just how quickly the outbreak appears to have exploded.
Now is the time to act. We will move to level 4. These decisions will place the most significant restrictions on New Zealanders' movements in modern history.
As a world, we've never seen a reaction like this to a virus or to anything else where it shut down economies, it shut down airlines, cars. It just shut everything down.
During March 2020, in response to COVID-19, New Zealand entered the most restrictive national lockdown in the world.
One very surreal thing, the night before the lockdown, I took a cart from Arai to Taraiti, which is a 20-minute drive, and it was one of the oddest events I'd ever seen. Just driving this gravel road, and you could have heard a pin drop. You know, everyone was already locked down, but there was no one on the road, except for me. It was great.
It stopped whatever construction work we were doing, and it also limits our ability to get started on the golf course, and so we're kind of at a standstill.
Bill is the key. You know, until Bill Coore is on this ground again, I don't feel like we've made it. We need Bill here.
We can't start until the architect and the shapers get there. That's a limitation to begin with. And the second is reading the tea leaves in terms of when the gates are going to be open.
We're just very concerned with the unknowns right now. You know, when can we start? When can we finish? When we do finish, will there be any customers? You know?
While the COVID-19 pandemic caused havoc in most of the world,
the coronavirus continues to spiral out of control in the US, but around the world, many countries have nearly beaten the virus or avoided it altogether.
New Zealand got lucky. A combination of geographic isolation and unprecedented government action crushed the virus.
Today there are no active cases in New Zealand. And so today I can announce that Cabinet has agreed we will now move to level 1.
It's good to see these guys around since they had to be pulled off the site, and it's great to see them out here taking trees and stumps out over here on the right, shifting a bunch of sand around on the driving range. Lots of big Tonka toys out there running around. It's great. And I know all these guys are happy. They did not want to get pulled off the site here for lockdown.
Working on the beach down here, it's an awesome job. I love it. This is one of my smaller babies. This is only a 30-tonner, so it's like driving a big car after a while.
Well, this is Pete. Everybody knows Pete.
Hello. Yeah, exciting to get back and make some progress out here. It's come a long way even since it was a pine forest, right? So this looked more like a golf green than a pine forest, but we're getting there. Yeah, it's nice. It's a good first start, for sure.
This is progress. This is our small reservoir. So this holds, I believe it's around 85,000 cubic meters of water here. This is actually something that we were partially built, then had to stop, pull the guys off the site. But now we finished the reservoir. It took them about 40 days to line this. The large reservoir is about 4 times the size of this. It's 350 or 360,000 cubic meters. This is absolutely essential for the success and the longevity of a golf course, is having a plentiful water supply, which fortunately we do here.
You better cut that.
You know, we're post-COVID, post-lockdown. There are guys working all over the place. So we've got our first shaper from Tasmania, actually, John Hawker and his family that have just arrived. So they'll be on site Monday next week, and then we're off to the races. Are you just driving around? You just driving around all day?
Can I pocket dial you?
No, I called you. I've got a very embarrassing situation here, one that, you know,
oh no!
One that Rick usually gets in. Yeah, we're just probably a little bit higher than the axle in sand right now.
I'll be there shortly.
Thanks, buddy. See you soon.
All right.
All right. Bye. Well, since we got stuck, I might as well play some golf in the sand. There we go. Well, I practice when I get stuck in my car. I was never a professional golfer, but I was a golf pro for a little while when I was very young. That would have been almost 20 years ago. I got out of that business a long time ago, but I still love the game. My whole career has been really based around golf and trying to create just great places that people can come enjoy a game that we all love. And there are times like this where I can just sit here and you just get lost in this, and you just have to pinch yourself and say, how incredibly lucky we are to be able to bring this to life, and we'll probably never see anything like this again in our life. So we better enjoy it while we're here, because this is pretty incredible. Here comes CJ to the rescue. He's an absolute child, isn't he? No problem. Thank you, CJ. I see John Hawker on his usual machine doing a little bit of shaping. He's really fine-tuning right now the first fairway, the approach, and up towards the green. And really, he's going to get this as close to a finished state as he can so that Bill Coore can check it out when he's here next week.
John Hawker, the first of Bill's shapers on site, had to quarantine for 14 days with his young family when entering New Zealand.
To be outside of a hotel room is very nice. Look, it's quarantine is it's a battle with a 2.5-year-old, but it's also a big part of why New Zealand is where they are with COVID. And as frustrating as it is, it's for the greater good. But to come out here after it, I don't think it really gets any better.
John's job as a shaper is to bring the architect's vision to life, to literally shape the course. But in the middle of a pandemic, nothing is simple.
This is a situation where, because of COVID and the world that we're in, you're here solo. You're the first guy here on the ground. That
Exactly.
probably doesn't happen too often,
No,
where
it doesn't.
you're
No,
just by yourself on the site.
Absolutely.
And Riley's not here yet.
Yeah.
Keith, Reb, those guys just aren't here.
Exactly.
So it's just you.
Exactly.
And so that's got to add to the typical
absolutely.
pressure that's here.
Yeah, this is very rare. I'm completely shitting myself, at this point, because it's, it's a special site. And having Bill to come and see it is, yeah, it is. It is very nerve-wracking.
Bill Coore is in quarantine in Auckland and is due out on site within a couple of days.
Yesterday when I talked to Bill on the phone, he said, all I want is to be dropped off, nobody around me, and I want a couple hours where I can walk the first 4 holes. So that 2 hours for you, it's like you're standing there waiting to be judged. And it's like, what the hell is he going to say to me?
Exactly.
Yeah.
While John frets about Bill's reaction, Jim is more concerned about size of his putting green.
I thought it went all the way to the edge of the cut, no?
A topic of vigorous discussion, the practice green has become a personal mission for Jim.
So we're looking at the playground, which is our 2.5 acre putting green, at least 2 acres, right, CJ? We would love to have one of the biggest in the world, if not the, and I believe the Punch Bowl Abandoned Dunes is around 2 acres. We're going to find out what the Himalayas at St. Andrews is, and we're just going to go a little bit bigger. Bigger is better. Hey, look, Mike Kaiser always talks about having, things to say that we are the most, we are the biggest, we are the best, whatever it is. He's already talked about this being the most coastline of any golf course he's aware of for a single golf course. Yeah. So if we also have the biggest, fun putting green, and it's got the best name, I think. Yeah, the playground. Yeah, the playground. Picking Bill up this morning. We're going to get him out of quarantine and up to the site.
How about this for a valet?
Scott. Yeah, door to door.
Think he's ever done this before? I'm going to get Jim to drop me out on the site and just drive away. I always like to go and just walk and see what's evolved, see what's happened, without being in a position to have to comment about it one way or the other. Not go with preconceived notions. Not go with like, oh, this should be this should be that should be that. Because if you do that, if you're not careful, you will miss something that could be right in front of you that could be really good. If you're not so nervous that you're almost to the point of being terrified, there is a problem, because this site demands that you get the most out of it and do the best you can, and it's happening to all of us right now out here. We're all more than a bit nervous about this. If you want to see some major earthworks, you're about to see it. It's happening right here in front of us. It's the third hole. It's a relatively short par 4, but it goes dramatically up this big natural hill. And John Hawker and the contractors guys are up here filling in the flanks so that if you're not able to get on the fairway that works its way up the hill, you're still able to play golf. It's not just down in a, you know, a 20 or 30 foot hole from which you can't escape.
With Bill clearly happy.
As I watched, and when you went down,
That's pretty good. All right, that's good.
That's really good.
John Hawker can breathe a sigh of relief.
It's always good to have a leader, you know, and you know, he's certainly that for sure. No, it is good though. It's good. The pressure's off me for sure. Yeah.
The pressure has eased for John in several ways. Another of Bill's shapers has arrived to share the workload.
Riley Johns. Riley's worked with us numerous times through the years. And we're on the first tee. It's a par 5 hole. It leads you in a hopefully a accommodating valley up to the green, and that just needs some of your talent and just fitting that together a little bit better. Come back and fix that mess that John Hawker left you.
That's my role. I just sweep behind John and
Hawker,
fix up all his mistakes. This is how the process works.
Yeah.
He leaves dogs breakfast and I try to smooth it around, and Bill edits that, and at the end of it, their golf holes appear.
I almost prefer him to leave it rough and messy in a way where I might be able to then pick up where he left off, but see something a little bit differently that he may not have seen and play off of it, almost like jazz music, where if you have a perfect, you know, symphony or riff, you can't really play around with it. So I prefer him to leave it messy. Gives me something to do.
There's such a great misconception about how these processes occur, and that there's supposedly one great visionary. It's a myth that's been perpetuated for many decades, and there's nothing further from the truth. Guys, you know, like Riley and John, I mean, who are absolutely, without question, two of the best practitioners in the world at this. What these guys are going to do is, the finished product so far for everything I've seen is far and away better than the concept that they started with. Well, this is the second hole. It's what we in the golf architecture world call a cape hole, which is one that either goes out and then angles to the right, or it could go to the left and ends up almost onto a peninsula type situation for the green. It's beautiful. John and the guys have just done an absolutely beautiful job with roughing this all in. Needs almost no work prior to putting irrigation in it.
We are at Tiare Point. This is Tiare Point right here. Tiare Links is on that side, and Taraiti is on this side. It is a magnificent, magical place, as is this entire beach, as in pretty much this entire country. And I just find this almost to be a religious experience being here.
I was born in California and raised in New York. You know, we were a nice middle-class family. My father worked very, very hard. He rose within a company. He was in the building supply business. My mother was a very, very generous person, and she loved to delight friends and family. She had an enormous willingness to go the extra mile and to help people to enjoy themselves. So if they had a party or something, my mother would volunteer to cook for 50 or whatever it would be for. But she loved to entertain, and she loved to see people happy. I've been in the investment business in the United States for the last 50-something years. Tried to attract to my circle people that I felt were particularly competent, that were nice people, and that had drive and ambition. I love building. I love to see people really enjoying what they're doing and reaching a higher and higher level of their potential. It's been very, very rewarding. It's been rewarding in business, it's been rewarding in philanthropy, it's rewarding in virtually all aspects of our life, and our family particularly. I'd never built a golf course. I'd never had anything to do with it. But I started with an objective of doing something without compromise.
I'm a kind of a person that can't stop, so starting this at about 65 was characteristic of my personality. I'm 75 today, soon to be 76. This is a project that's in total has taken about 9 years so far. And I'd expect that we will probably be almost completed within 3 years. So it'll be a 12-year project, but at that point, I'm going to be knocking on 80. They'll probably carry me out when I'm finally over with.
It's different than a building. A building will wear out, you know, and it will need replacement and whatever. A golf course can be around a long, long time. I think St. Andrews, for example, is 400 years old.
This will be here forever, which it's got a kind of a nice ring to it. This is awfully exciting for me. They've done a very substantial amount of work since I've been here the last time. You know, I haven't seen green before, and this is beautiful green. It's incredible. This gives me a very giddy feeling. It's seeing it come to life is just a thrill. This putting green, I have my partner here who I'm sure you've met, is Jim Rorstaff. He's a terrific, terrific young man. He came up with the idea for this green, and we're going to call it Jim's Folly. So this is our first hole right here, and it's a par 5. I think it's a beautiful hole.
The first hole should tell the golfer something about what he or she is about to experience.
You know, once you get near the top, it really becomes just a links golf course. You really can putt from 50 yards out.
When you play it for the first time, you've played the first hole, and you go, wow, that was interesting. That was different. There was a message in it. Welcome to Tiare Links.
Not only has the course begun to turn green, local builders are getting started on the main buildings.
I'm delighted to see this going in and going vertical. You're doing both of these, right?
Yeah, at the same time. Yeah, nice.
So you're going to be finished with this in what, about 2 weeks?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like
give or
that.
take, yeah.
Once the builders have their marching orders, Rick can check on John's progress.
We're in a great spot at the minute. 10 holes roughed in, 3 holes already seeded.
Even though seeding has started, most of the course is still open sand, making it challenging to drive on.
Okay. That's good. We got going. I have a bad reputation around here for getting stuck in the sand. It's uncalled for, but it is called for.
Down at the southern end of Bill's course, Rick finds something which is called for.
You've reached the voicemail of Jim Rorstaff.
Jim, it's Rick, and we're out near number 6. It looks spectacular, but I'd like to talk to you about it. Hello, Jimmy. Shitty view here. Can you see the ocean from here?
No.
No.
Not quite.
This is a small green.
Yeah, and that's my concern. So you feel like with the prevailing wind, a lot of balls will chase down to that back right pocket back there. It's going to be a real challenge, I think, for the average golfer to putt it and get, you know, the odds of two putting will be
low.
Yeah, 10%.
You know, the green looks a little bit small and a little bit severe. I think we're going to end up, you know, with a chat with Bill about it and just see how he feels about it.
A week later, Bill, Rick, and Jim revisit the difficult green on hole 6.
Jim and Rick both expressed some concerns about the playability, and you know, I have to admit, I like the original version a lot, but I did think, all right, this is a valid concern. And quite frankly, last week when we were out here and we were getting ready to finish it so they could hydroseed it, we had these very heavily easterly winds. The wind was blowing so hard. We literally watched this green blow away out here. And we just kind of like, okay, there's a message in this too. So we still have the same concept, which was the natural dune on the right with the bunker cut into it, the natural dunes on the left, the green sitting in a pocket in the dunes, very much like when I first walked this property. But what's been done is stretch the green, stretch it to the sides. So it still nestles in the dunes, but it's got more width to it, and there's an upward contour right there that you see right on the left edge of the green that helps hold balls in there. These guys, as much as I hate to admit it, these guys were right.
After revising Bill's design, Rick feels a new approach is called for.
You know, Bill has created such problems on 6 that we're thinking of bringing Tom Doak in to repair the damage. Bill, how do you feel about that?
I think it's the absolute proper thing to do, Rick. I mean, you know. Well, Tom's already accused me of taking all the best land, so he may at least have a little part of it.
No, yeah. He'll clean up after you.
Yeah, exactly,
Clean up.
exactly.
And Rick isn't done winding up Bill yet.
Now, this hole, does this have potential? Could it be good? Could it be very good?
I think it's got the potential to be pretty good.
A few months later, in his Auckland office, award-winning New Zealand architect John Irving is working through the final details for the buildings at Te Arai.
We're just trying to do buildings that just allow this beautiful landscape to spread out, and just, you know, these buildings are just in the background. The thing about these timbers is they do grey off into a very similar colour tone to the landscape.
One particular building has a special resonance for John.
That was the first drawing of the bunker bar, which was done on an aeroplane. I love designing on aeroplanes for some bizarre reason. It's like a thing. And then there's another sort of a follow-up. The bunker bar is the anti-building. Well, you're not really meant to know it exists. So that's the arrival. So you come in here and through you go. It opens out and it has a view over the 18th fairway and the ocean. There will be people playing their shots from right here. I'm very excited about a building that's a hole in the ground.
Jim is in town to discuss one of the bunker bar's most interesting features.
Okay, so, important conversation.
Yes.
The booze lockers.
There were 48, I believe, right?
So we've gone 9 by 3, 7, 54.
The new one.
The new one, I've just added one.
That would be 63.
What did I say? 9 sevens are 54.
54. We're not here to judge math skills, fortunately enough. Make sure that stays in the final.
I just feel incredibly privileged to be involved. So many people will get to enjoy it, and being one of the people in the background of making this amazing course is just so exciting. And do we want to see what's in there like
Yes.
we've done?
That's part of the fun in this.
It's hard to kind of comprehend that there was that opportunity available in New Zealand. I mean, we are this crazy frontier island on the end of the world where you can still do things like this, you know. This phone here, this is our special VIP line, which is direct to Rick. So when it rings, we always pick up. He's not there right now because it didn't ring. I think Rick's secret sauce is he wants to enjoy this. This is about enjoyment for him. What's the point in leaving a legacy if it's not fun? So, you know, he's leaving a legacy of happiness and he's enjoying the journey as well. So he's a smart guy.
Suzanne and I just got out of quarantine. That will now make 10% of our year that has been in quarantine for the last year. This will be our first look at the golf course in 7 months. Jim basically has not done anything since we left.
No. We've just been waiting for you to come back. Yeah.
Yeah.
We figured you'd have a shovel and
well, you
get
needed
right
me
after
to give orders, right?
Yeah,
okay.
That's right. You know, frankly, they could have stayed away a little longer, but you know, we'll suffer through.
Oh my!
Oh my goodness! Oh.
Is that just spectacular?
Yes, unbelievable.
Yeah, there's probably nothing more dramatic that I've seen anywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
This whole stretch could be the finest stretch in the world for golf.
Yeah.
To me, links courses are just natural. They use the land to create challenge for the golfer.
I said people are going to lay up here and then the flag's going to be where it is, and then they're going to refer to that as the little fucking knob. It's going to completely dictate how you hit the second shot into this.
You know, from what I've seen so far, this will be extraordinarily well thought of. Jimmy, do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just don't think that Tom on the third course is going to disappoint us in any way. So we're going to end up with, you know, 3 of the finest in the world.
I think both courses here are going to complement Terre-Iti really well. I think you've got 3 courses with distinctly different personalities, different looks, different landscape. You know, this looks nothing like Terre-Iti, but it's equally, if not more, visually dramatic.
A golf course that is truly special is one that has its own strong individual character. It's not trying to be something else. It is what it is.
That bunker really looks like it protects the front edge of the green. It's actually about 35 yards short of the green. It really isn't in play, but he makes you think about it. When you get up here and see it, you go, I actually didn't need to worry about that.
As Bill Coore's architectural insight is revealed, the designs of John Irving are just beginning to take form.
And this is where you would arrive in a vehicle, and when you arrive, you'll be looking right through the lobby out to golf. This is the center of the heartbeat of the whole place.
I think it's fabulous. I love John Irving, who was the architect, has done an amazing job. I love the volume of it, the beautiful woods he's used, and how you view right out to the practice green. Love it.
So we're walking up to the yet-to-be-named pizza barn. It spills out onto what will be a putting green.
Hey, Jim, did you ever think that Jim's Folly would be this big?
Yeah, the playground was always contemplated to be one of the biggest putting greens in the world. We've looked at every putting green around. We checked out the punch bowl that Kaiser did at Bannon, and we said, Mike, we're going to do it just a little bigger.
We're going after you, Mike.
We're
coming after you.
Yeah. I have a hard time keeping up with Rick. You know, his vision from the beginning, I don't think he would admit to really ever believing this would be as good as it is today. It's out of this world.
And now he really is obsessed with it. But he's facing the building of these beautiful golf courses just like he does everything else. He becomes obsessed, and he's like a bulldog. You cannot take the bone away from him.
You're looking at 12 miles of beach here.
Rick's vision for Te Arai encompasses so much more than just the golf courses.
What impresses me about Rick is that there is a genuine desire to improve the environment and the ecology and leave Te Arai a better place than when he arrived.
You don't get projects like this very often at all, and I know I've been lucky to be involved right from the start, from a pine forest to dune restoration. It's great. I always knew that there would be a great ecological benefit to the development, but I never realised it would be this great.
The restored dunescape has become a sanctuary for many of New Zealand's endangered bird species.
We've got dotterels, we've got variable oyster catchers and fairy tern. So there's a lot of shorebirds, and so, but yeah, fairy tern is the one that's most threatened.
The fairy tern is New Zealand's most threatened indigenous bird.
So one of the adults has just come in with a fish and the chicks are chasing it.
Called taraiti in Maori, this small endangered bird was the namesake for the first golf course built north of Te Arai Point.
You know, the bird, unfortunately, it lays its nest in the dunes, and it's usually in exposed sand. And so predators just waltz on down, grab the eggs, say thank you very much, and then they go back to the forest. And what's really happened here is as we clear the forest and do predator proofing, we're really seeing the bird have an opportunity again.
I've only got one chick here who is teaching himself to fish now, which is good.
So today he went to the stream and he managed to catch a fish, but he dropped it.
Oh yeah?
And I was like, no! Keep going.
Care for the environment is ongoing, with Rick's people continuing predator control.
I ran out of eggs, so I used a golf ball. Some people have tried golf balls before because it looks a bit like an egg because it's white, and I happened to run out of eggs one day, so I used a golf ball, and we'll see. Could trick a pest. New Zealand species evolved away from the rest of the world, way down the south here. We had two native mammals, which were bats, so all the predators for birds were other birds. People came along and introduced rats, hedgehogs, stoats, ferrets, weasels. They've just had a field day with our native birds, so population numbers of nearly all our native birds have just plummeted. We do have a possum in a trap just over here. Yeah, one possum.
It's just a neat team here, you know. They've got a great office, haven't they? I mean, who wouldn't want to work here every day? So, yeah, no, they're great. They really are.
The team's conservation work has been so successful that local birds have begun to breed in the bunkers of Taraiti itself.
Pretty much all the bunkers of the golf course, they've planted them in spinifex and pingao, which are our two native dune plants, and it's pretty much created perfect nesting habitat for our dotterel. Their nests are really, really well camouflaged. Well, their nests themselves are just a scrape in the sand, and their eggs just blend in with the sandy environment out here, so you can be right next to them and still find it really hard to see them. Our GM, Matt Guzik's brought in a local rule during our breeding season too, that if you hit your ball into a roped off area, you just get a free drop, so people are staying out of their nests and we're reducing that human impact as much as possible.
Now we've got at-risk species like New Zealand dotterel and banded dotterel breeding on those golf courses, and people accept that that's part of the golf course, that you're going to have that species there.
So New Zealand dotterel, they've just recently improved in their conservation status because of a result of programs like this.
I'm not a golfer. I haven't got the patience or the skill to be a golfer. But when I wander around that golf course and look at dotterels nesting there, I look at all the other enhancements, the ecological enhancements of what is happening up at Te Arai, I look back and think, this is a shitload better than having a pine forest.
As the southern course nears completion, Tom's team of Brian Slonick, Clyde Johnson and Angela Moser are getting prepped for Tom's first visit in 3 years.
The last time I was here with Brian Slonick, we thought we were a few months away from getting really started into construction, so we walked around, and usually we don't, he doesn't make a lot of notes and stuff because he's going to remember, because we're coming right back to start the work, and neither one of us thought, oh yeah, it's going to be 3 years. So I talked to him before he left to come over here. I was like, do you even remember all the decisions we made? And he's like, not really. Usually when I come, I'm only coming for a week, and we're trying to get 4 holes done. Here, we're trying to see if we can work on the whole golf course in 6 weeks. And I've never really done that before, so we'll see how it goes.
With no time to waste, Tom gets right to reviewing Angela's work.
That part all turned out really good. That part all turned out really good because of that. Yeah. And that makes everything over there better. Yeah. So everything else I really like.
Yeah, that bump
threw me off, so.
Yeah, just soften that a little bit because that being higher, you know, it makes it more severe, and it does, I don't know that we're trying to make it more severe.
Angela fires up the toys to get Tom's tweaks done.
My favorite part about being a shaper is mainly because you can put your ideas into the ground and then review it, change it a little bit, and then at some point you see golfers on it. So it's amazing. It's a beautiful process. It's been great to have Tom back here, and now we're actually moving forward really quickly, so it's good.
The next hole to review is 13, and Rick has a question or two.
I was actually surprised when I saw where the flag was so far right.
Well, the landing area.
The landing area.
Yeah, the landing area.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Every client wants to be involved a little bit when you're building stuff.
Is that just where you took sand?
They're doing this to have fun more than to make money. He's past the point where he needs to make money. He's doing a golf project because he loves golf. He wants to do something that's special, and because it's going to be fun.
So when Bill was here, he made me the partner in the design because he allowed me to put one of these little flags, and I moved it about 3 feet.
Okay.
So on that basis, you know,
You're
I
the
was
co-designer.
I was the co-designer of the golf course.
Pick your spot.
Yeah.
Pick your spot carefully,
It's a Coore.
because you only get one.
Angela, I'm going to take this and move it about 6 inches. Is that okay? Okay. That is probably what will make the golf course.
You know, he wants to be a little involved, and he wants to be able to tell stories about how we did what we did. The part that I had to learn was that it's important to include the client at that level.
The client is a happy man, but will Tom be happy with Clyde's shaping on the 8th green?
Wow, it's way less severe than it was. Is
that a good thing?
Yeah, I think so.
I first started with Tom 10 years ago now. He's a great mentor, and he gives just the right amount of creativity and freedom to us.
The edge of the green was 20 feet over that way, and if you missed the green by 5 feet to the right, it was all the way down in the bottom of the hole down there. We just moved the green over a little bit, and we built a couple of pockets that if you just miss the green, it won't go all the way down. The ball hopefully will come down in here and stay here where you're got a chip shot back to the green instead of 25 feet below the green looking up.
We're dealing with some really big and broad dunes, big scale land, big scale movement, and, you know, making it playable. It's not just about the appearance, it's how the golf plays as well.
Tom's next stop is the original sand blowout he uncovered buried in the forest.
Yeah, this thing still looks great. It'll suck once golfers start getting in it.
And he still seems happy with it.
So this part I'm really comfortable with.
3 years ago, this land was covered in dense forestry. Today, with the trees removed, the landscape and its golfing potential is clear for all to see. Furthest inland on the northern course is a unique Maori pa site. CJ and Tom are checking which last trees to remove to make the most of the site.
You know, you'll play the first 2 holes kind of along the ocean, and then you'll play back up a valley through the trees on 3 and 4, and then you'll turn to the right to play these 2 holes, and you'll be looking right at that. And I think it's going to be a, wow, what is that moment.
Tom is a macro designer. He understands what will last 100 years. He wants this mound, 2%, bunker here. And he lets his guys do all the detail. Tom gets it in 10 minutes, I think. Tom just looks at a topo map and is like, well, why would you do that? It's stupid. Of course the green goes here, you know. Bill grinds through it, and he'll grind through it, and he'll tweak it, and he'll move back, and you get the same result. You get perfection from both of them. You know, it just happens that Tom did it very quickly.
Where'd we lose you, CJ? I have no idea where he went.
Leaving CJ lost in the woods, Tom heads back to see if Angela has dug her way out of trouble.
Well, that looks a little different than the last time I saw it. Do you miss the ridge?
Not at all.
Okay.
No architect understands strategy better than Tom Doak. How you play a golf hole, how you think about it and have to work your shots and do different strategies depending on is the wind coming left to right, right to left, into. He's the best in the business.
There's a huge deep bunker to the right of the flag. It's a scary enough bunker you don't just try to hit over it, you're going around it.
Yeah, you want to take a shot out of the bunker.
A shot out of the bunker sounds like a good idea to Tom and Jim.
So I did this for the bunker on 6 at Pacific Dunes when Mike Kaiser was ready to tell me it was too severe and we shouldn't have it. I dropped one ball and I hit it out on the green, and it's like I've never been able to hit that green from that bunker since the golf course opened. There you go.
The shot is good, and Tom is happy to sign off.
Hey, congrats on the first one.
First green is approved, so woohoo!
Just as Tom's team are making headway, shocking news threatens to throw a spanner in the works.
So has anybody mentioned to you the possibility that they'll use couch grass in the fairways instead of fescue so they can put carts out here? Yes. Okay.
It's always hard to walk these when it's all sand. You know, it's just a hard slog through the sand. And, you know, Rick was thinking, would I have a hard time walking this? If this course becomes a more challenging walk for people, do we need to accommodate that? And the way you do that, of course, is with a golf cart.
The client gets older every year, and because this is taking so long, he's realizing that even more now. So it's kind of inevitable that he's starting to think about, you know, I'm not the only one who's going to need a golf cart to get around here.
This new development presents Jim with some tough challenges ahead.
If we need golf carts, there are a few things that pop up right away. One, where do we put golf carts? Because we have not planned in that for any of our infrastructure. Number two, fescue will not hold up to a golf cart in the middle of summer. You know, there are a lot of things to discuss with Tom and Brian and with CJ, just to say, hey, can we do this?
Once again, Jim finds himself cast as the bad guy, while Tom's enthusiasm for the idea of golf carts is far from overwhelming.
The Americans will feel way more at home. If we just try to sell that, you know, we're gonna have a meeting next week about the halfway house up there. And I could just say, well, why don't you just like put the path right through so you could just have a window that they serve you right there and keep going. That would reinforce the cart thing.
Yeah, it might.
At this moment, Rick remains undecided, and there are no proposed alterations to Tom's course design yet.
Well, we're going to have a potpourri, I believe, which is a blessing of our clubhouse and our Rick's restaurant and our first visitor accommodation.
Everyone has a life spirit which we call your Maori. The Maori is the life force that you hold within you. So that's why you'll notice as we're all touching that, it's to instill a life force so that the house and all those that come to stay and visit, that they're actually protected by all of the life force that we bring.
So for decades, this land was owned by the Crown. It was operated by Carter Holt Harvey as a forestry operation. Then in 2002, there was a treaty settlement that the government approached two separate iwi and really did two transactions, one with Ngāti Manahuri, which is the land where Te Arai Lynx is, and the land in the North Forest with Te Arai Aho. The land that the golf course is actually being built on is leasehold, so the iwi will be able to take pride for generations that they still actually own the land that the golf course sits on.
One day maybe we may have one of our own be here playing golf for New Zealand on this very course, right? Yeah. So I think that's the aspirations. We've got big aspirations about how we connect into this going forward, and to be a part of that as well. You know, it's a partnership. It's been amazing, and something we can be proud of actually, not only for us but our next generation and the generation beyond.
From Ngāti Manahuri's perspective, you know, this is a great day for us. It's been a long time coming in the last 11 years, meeting some amazing people along the way, and then having yourself and with your skills and with your own integrity that you bring to our lands and to our whānau. I want to thank you very much, you and your wife and your family.
In their culture, they don't think you can own land. They think that you're just a custodian of it. And that's the way I feel about it too. And the thing that I said to them is, I really am proud of what we've done. I feel very good about it. And I can give you an absolute assurance that I have no intention of picking it up and taking it to California.
To see Maori and Pākehā and everyone else playing here together in tandem with each other in a beautiful world-class golf course. Two of them actually, three of them actually, in the sacred Wahitapu and the sacred lands of ours. It's just really awesome.
Only a few hours later, over at Taraiti, and Bill Coore is back, and the gentleman designer is exceptionally happy.
I've just come from the Auckland airport and did not have to get on a bus to go to a government-sanctioned facility. I'm so happy. First time in the last 4 times I've been here, that's been the case. So.
As New Zealand opens its borders to the world once more, Bill seizes the opportunity for a final walkthrough of the southern course.
This is my office. It's wherever we're working. Welcome to my office. It's pretty nice, isn't it? 3 elements right here. Fairway cut height, transitional rough, native dunes. We didn't want just perfect grass going completely into sand dunes. We wanted the very good turf in the fairways, again, transitioning into a little bit browner, just slightly higher cut of turf. It's fescue grasses that stop the ball, generally, from getting into the sand dunes. This is as close to the finished product, visually, as any hole probably on the course at this point. It's pretty good. Looks a little like golf out here.
On to Arai North, Tom's crew, led by Brian Slonick, are making spectacular progress.
So Tom is basically his work is done here, and so now we're in the process of doing all the sort of tertiary shaping to finish the other 80% of the golf holes, get them ready for irrigation, also following up behind the irrigation and prepping holes for grassing, and so that's what we're doing on this hole. This might seem like a big machine for the job it's doing, but it's the most efficient way we can reestablish some of the lows and the highs. To the untrained eye, I've often wondered if it looks like I'm just making a mess, but there is a method to the madness. It's kind of like woodworking in a way, where when you're sanding down a piece of wood, you start with the really, really heavy grit sandpaper to get the big stuff, and you finally work your way down. That big digger there, that's your 50 grit sandpaper, down to the Sand Pro is a 120, and then finally with the hand rakes for the last touch.
Applying a delicate finishing touch is Anita Mitchell.
I was working on the South Course build, and I loved building golf courses, so when the opportunity came to move to the north, I jumped at it, and here I am, back in the sand. I was new, I was a brewer before that, and saw the ad for greenkeepers, and yeah, thought it's time for a change. So yeah, now I've started my turf apprenticeship this year, so I can become a qualified greenkeeper, make a career out of it. It's phenomenal seeing something like this come to life, and then hopefully in 6 months we'll be able to play on it. And I don't know, it's just combines my love of sports and being outside and having a physical job, and yeah, I mean, there's no better place to work, I don't think. What they're doing here is creating something that will be here well after we leave this earth, like 100 years or so. There'll still be jobs here. There'll still be money coming into the economy, which is just fantastic for the area. It's a growing area and they need the jobs. So it's cool, it's great.
The other thing growing is grass. Hydroseeding is underway at Te Arai North.
There's real live golf turf out there now that's being mowed and rolled, and the first hole we seeded is just over there. looks well and truly like a golf hole now. It's fun that we get to drive past that every day on our way in and out of the site. It's a bit of a morale kick.
Over a decade has passed since the initial clearing of trees, and today a distinguished gathering of dignitaries, former government ministers and tribal elders converges at Te Arai for a formal opening ceremony.
Manahari are our partners here. This was their ancestral land, and it's such an honor to be able to do what we've done here. And they are today blessing the golf courses and the project.
This is now something that we're going to share with the world. And this is a tourism asset for New Zealand, for New Zealanders, for people overseas to come here and experience this wonderful place.
The relationship has been an honor. We have genuinely appreciated them, and I think they have genuinely appreciated us. And I think we've been working together. It's just been an honor.
As the powerful echoes of the Maori haka subside, an ancestral landscape is reborn. What was once an abandoned and overgrown forest has been transformed. Gently crafted with care and dedication by a team of experts over many long years, Te Arai South, designed by Bill Coore and Ben Crenshaw, is now open to the world, inviting all to come and experience its beauty.
The South Course is jaw-dropping in terms of its physical beauty. And it has a characteristic of the great golf courses in that it really has 18 unique holes.
Bill and Ben really, they've got so much coastline. People will just through the visual eye candy fall in love with this golf course. It is true links golf, and it's fun.
But before the players descend en masse, local iwi members are seizing a cheeky chance for an early preview.
It's flash, I'll see. Amazing. It's amazing. The flash is.
As Te Arai South opens its doors, all eyes turn to Tom's course, eager to see how it measures up.
Well, this is the first time playing the North Course. Tom and his team finished it. We couldn't wait to try it out. Starting on number 1, it just put a grin on my face. And then number 2, and then number 3. And one by one, the golf course opened up and revealed itself.
Nice putt.
And I don't think I took the smile off my face.
Well, that's a good ball, Tom. This is the funnest day of the year, getting to play something new that you've worked on. And see where the balls go. You think you know. You don't always know. Why are we all going left?
Being part of those playing the course for the first time is always a treat, no doubt. And playing with Tom is always something I look forward to. It's a lot easier than I thought.
Of course, I'm not much of a golfer.
Tom wrote a little description for us for the website that said, "It's not very often that I have to apologize for only having 7 or 8 holes on the coast, but that's how spoiled we've become here." One of the things that sets that course apart is it does have so much on the inland side of the golf course, but the golf is unbelievably interesting. And actually, my favorite stretch of holes is inland.
And the one thing that always attracted me out here was this dune right here. It was deep in the pine forest, so I didn't really know anything about it, but it turned out it's a Maori pa. It's an old fortress. It is a spectacular feature.
From beside the ancient pa site, hole 6 beckons, its fairway extending towards a green that posed a formidable challenge for its visionary designer, Tom.
I didn't really know how that was going to work.
It's got a little dune in front of it, and the green's kind of in a bowl, and it's narrow and pretty severe. And it's like you think you got to hit a great shot in there, but you can also like just hit it against the back of the dune and let it come down into the green. And you know, you may not get real close, but you can get it on the green pretty easily if you want. Jim, who'd left it short of the little dune and thought he had an impossible shot, it's like, no, play it off the back slope and almost hold it.
Come on. Don't go in. Don't go in, you son of a bitch.
Jimmy, how can you miss that one?
When we started, none of that was there, and it was really exciting to see it work the way I wanted it to work.
As Rick breezes around the course, Tom's worries about golf carts are put to rest.
On the north course, we were also concerned with the amount of up and down and would it be walkable. And after playing it, it was totally fine. We're very happy about that because we don't like golf carts.
The whole thing is about camaraderie, just enjoying the people you're walking with. To be able to play it with Tom and with CJ, who's worked so hard on it, and Jim has put his heart and soul into it, and you know, it was just a treat.
With the resounding success of its inaugural round, the Northern Course now joins its counterparts in completing this triumphant trio of courses. And, in a moment that has been years in the making, Te Arai stands poised for its long-awaited grand unveiling.
We would be hopeful that people will make their pilgrimage to this place because the golf is without any compromise.
This is a golfing paradise like no other, where anybody and everybody can test their golfing skills against the backdrop of New Zealand's untamed beauty.
The golf course architecture is out of this world. And then if you just pause for a second and look around, it's some of the best views you can have anywhere in the world on a golf course, or anywhere in the world.
The landscape is amazing. It's almost like beautiful kind of green rivers running through the sand, you know? It's really stunning.
Both courses stand proudly complete, while the clubhouses and world-class facilities featuring top-tier amenities and a warm Kiwi welcome are set to redefine the golfing experience.
Everything from the clubhouse to putting greens to the course itself is just incredible. Greens, superb, fast, unbelievable. Yeah.
Nothing's been spared. They haven't cut one corner. They have made this what they said they were going to do. In fact, they've done better than they said they were going to do. It is absolutely phenomenal.
Luxury accommodations with interiors that perfectly frame the beauty of New Zealand's landscapes are ready for the guests.
We have 3 different styles of accommodation. We have 450 square foot hotel rooms. We have 2-bedroom cottages. Then we've got 6 4-bedroom villas as well, and a great way to travel if you've got 4 guys, 4 couples, a family where they can all stay in one place. You could play cards at night. You can get together and share war stories from the golf course that day.
Well, if you get the chance to play it, it's everything. Stunning outlook, stunning layout, fantastic fairways, greens, tee blocks, it's just everything. It's the best course I've ever played, without a doubt.
The members, the guests, the resort guests that have come and stayed here, it's rave reviews all the way around.
Propelled solely by those rave reviews, the local membership has witnessed a rapid and remarkable expansion. Playing the Southern Course today is one of the first Kiwis to sign up, broadcaster Murray Dika.
I don't think people realise until they get up here what's been established. Unique in the world. Having been lucky enough to travel and play in most of the top golf courses, particularly the United States, I think the South Course is the best members course I've ever played on, because you never come off feeling unhappy. The legacy that they've left for New Zealanders is quite extraordinary. Unbelievable really to think about the vision that they've had. And I'm just making the most of it and loving every minute of it.
Oh! Also making the most of the day is Shell Lloyd, teeing off for his first game at Te Arai.
Stunning looking course. It's going to be really interesting to
play on it for the first time, considering we took all the trees out and developed all of the area that was going to be fairways and greens and all that.
Shell has been practicing for this day for a long time.
And just swing through like that.
Geez, that was a good shot, Shell.
One day I hope to get around out in Rick's course. Be bloody awesome.
Shot. Take my hat off to Rick Kaine. He employed locals. You know, like you think how many people he employs, not just for the building side of things, but as in caddies and greenkeeping staff and that. So it's actually great for the area.
One of those locals now working at Arai is greenskeeper Anita Mitchell.
Wow, good shot. See that little bump over there? Yep. So one of the shapers here, who's a pretty awesome lady, Angela Moser, she was shaping around here and I got called out one day to help her, and it doesn't look like much now, but it's like the one thing on this course that I'm so proud of because I made it. She said, what were you thinking about? And I'm like, well, when someone's standing here and looking out to the sea, and on some days it's perfect, you can get a wave coming in and it matches that bump. So she was like, yeah, I really like that concept. So, I mean, that's it, that's gonna be there forever. That's gonna outlive me, and I think that's just so cool. I love building golf courses. I mean, this will be here for hundreds of years. Hopefully people enjoy it, and I can be proud for the rest of my life that I was part of building it. Oh, there's the shot. Hey.
Hello. Hey, how are you?
Good to see you.
Good, nice to see you.
You're back in the country. This is my mother, Bev.
Hi, Mom. How are you?
Yeah.
Fine, thank you.
We just had the most marvellous game of golf.
Oh, did you?
It's my brother-in-law's 70th birthday.
Oh, wow. Isn't that nice?
And the whole place is just beautiful.
That's great.
The vibe at Rick's is exactly what we wanted it to be. It's very casual, it's fun, there's a lot of energy there. You've got locals coming in, you've got golfers coming off the course. So it's a wonderful environment. The pizzas are fantastic.
How did they ever come up with the name Rick's for this place?
Well, this was the place that wasn't going to be quite as, high end. It's a little disheveled.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
No.
I don't know where somebody came up with that name.
Look, this is our place that's, it's casual, it's low key, it's fun.
Yeah. Right off of Jim's Folly.
No, this is the playground. The playground.
I like that, Jim's Folly.
The playground. This sets the scene. This is the vibe. Just come and smile, have a good time, laugh out loud, do things unconventionally, and enjoy yourself.
The playground has been such a hit. To see kids, to see women in flowing dresses who have clearly never held a golf club in their life, out putting and being engaged by the game of golf is exactly what we did it for. You can have that group next to 8 guys who just played 36 holes, who are hyper-competitive golf fanatics, hooting and hollering, having a great time, and then you see kids rolling down the slopes, and it's things that you don't see traditionally in golf. And I think golf needs a lot more of this.
When we come here, it happens to both Jim and I, but how many people walk up to you and say, thank you, thank you, thank you?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody's smiling and having a great time.
Yeah, it doesn't get better.
To see people coming out and enjoying the place, it's so satisfying, more than I could have ever dreamed. It's a big project, and what we were able to do in a 3.5-year period is really, truly unbelievable. I think that no matter how much depth you have, there are moments where you pause and you reflect and say, are we doing the right thing? But ultimately, when you walk around the place, it's a home run.
Do epic shit.
This was a different kind of project than things I've ever been involved with in business. It was not a clear bargain. It was a risk. So this has been a more personal journey than a lot of the other things that I've done.
On a big project, the return is like not even in your lifetime. It's like 20 years down the road or 30 years down the road. And when you're Rick's age, it's like, you're not really doing it for that. You're doing it because you maybe can leave something great behind.
To see what's been accomplished in a relatively short period of time, to watch it in a somewhat difficult time be brought in essentially on time and on budget, it was
stunning, and Jim deserves a great deal of credit for that.
You know, I grew up in Michigan in the Midwest. Great parents, great family life. I could never imagine what my life would have turned into. It's a fairy tale. Yeah, it's been a all-consuming project for me for many, many years. And to get through it, it's been quite a journey. The game of golf has given me so much, and it feels great to do something like this with Rick and leave our stamp.
You know, there's a part of people like me that are creating things that never feel as though they are doing enough. And it just keeps on surprising me, the feedback that I'm getting. And it feels great. I just, you know, get a great source of pride out of it. Providing a golfing experience that was the way it was meant to be. That's what we've tried to do, and it's been a lot of fun doing it. And, you know, it looks like that's what we're doing. I'd say it's mission accomplished.